So for all the I'm a pretty regular person. I do whatever I want, and I'm lucky that I can because of good health in the past. But most of the world doesn't have this opportunity, and most of the world also doesn't have access to medical care if any complications does come up. But I said almost my entire life because when I was first born, I was diagnosed with a rare case of CDH, or congenital diaphragmatic hernia. This is a condition where your diaphragm, the muscle or the organ that helps your lungs breathe and it keeps your upper body separated from your lower body, basically snaps. And when this happens, basically your lower body organs are able to come up into your upper body and squish your upper body organs. So your lungs can get squished, your heart might not work correctly, and the doctors gave me a 30% chance of surviving. Well, as a parent, I don't know how you could ever go through this or anyone else ever. So, what is luck or what is chance? Well, what I really wanted to ask was, how does luck work? What are the odds? And how do we increase our chances of receiving good luck? Well, luck is defined as the force that causes things, especially good things, to happen by chance and not as a result of your own efforts or abilities, by Cambridge University. Well, most people think that luck only plays a small part in their lives. You probably only think, hey, it's only for poker games or blackjack or something like that. But it's a whole lot bigger than that, because luck plays a whole big part of you even existing here today. Dr. Ali Benazir says that the biggest lottery you'll ever need to win isn't even in your own lifetime, because the chances of you being born in the first place are extremely minute. He describes this with an analogy. Imagine that in all the oceans in the world, someone throws one life preserver out. And when they throw that one life preserver out, there's one sea turtle in all of these oceans that needs to come up for air. And when it comes up for air, it comes up straight through that life preserver on the very first try. You guys probably don't really know the coincidences or the odds of that ever happening, so let's take it in a more statistical matter. So first, your dad would have to meet your mom for you to be born. And for that to happen, your dad probably meets about 10,000 women in 25 years. So your chances, yeah. So all you guys out there, good job. Well, your mom, for your mom to be in that group, there is a 1 in 20,000 chance. So after that, there's a 10% chance of them talking, a 10% chance that they go on 2 dates, and a 10% chance that they stay long enough for them to make you. So, your chances right now are 1 in 20 million. That's a pretty big number, right? It's about to get a whole lot worse. So, now we have to calculate your biological probability. And this is where the numbers go pretty big. So, on your mom's side, your chances are 1 in 100,000, and on your dad's side, they are 1 in 4 trillion. So, when you combine those odds and the odds we talked about before, we get a pretty big number, but that's only for you. In order to form you, your parents had to be born. And for them to be born, your grandparents had to be born. And from them to be born, your great-grandparents had to be born. And you can do that all the way back into the beginning of the human race. And this number is 10 to the power of 2.7 million. So that's a 1 with 2.7 million zeros after it. So it's a pretty big number, right? What's even more lucky is that you guys are probably either living in the United States, grew up in the United States, or visiting right now. So, that's a first world country, and you probably have so many opportunities here to be successful and to basically do whatever you want. But most people do not have that chance. Most people aren't as affluent as us or do not have the chances. So, as us, the more richer in the world, have more chances to succeed, the poor stay the same because they don't have those chances to get richer and richer. So they're in a cycle of staying poor when we're in a cycle of getting higher and higher. So what happens is there's a huge gap between the rich and the poor. So when you have this huge gap, what happens is basically your odds are a lot less, but if you get your odds of being rich, you're going to have a better life. But the poor you're more likely to be poor, but you don't have the odds of being successful when you're poor. So to visualize this, the 10 richest people in the world have the combined wealth that equals Nigeria, Belgium, and Iran's GDP combined, according to Forbes Billionaire. So imagine 10 people versus billions of people, and they're the exact same when you compare them with wealth. This might be how the world seems to some people, as the rich are bad people, and they hate the poor, and they use the poor, and they make the poor victims. But this isn't always true, because what it really is rich people are just normal people. They were born with an extra advantage, right? And poor people are also normal people, and they aren't lazy or they don't work hard. They actually do work hard, because when you're in that situation and you work 40 hours a week and your job can't support you and it can't make you can't put a roof over your head or 3 meals, I mean, that's a problem, because you're working just as hard. You just don't have the job that gives you enough money. So when this happens, we here have a lot better chance of being successful, and these poor people don't. So what do we do when we have all these opportunities to be successful and those people don't? Well, what we need to do as a human race is to support these people, to help these people, to make sure that these people who ended up on the short end of the stick have a better chance of living happy lives and successful lives. Everyone here can do something to make everyone else's lives better, because we as a human civilization, or as a species, have evolved over thousands of years, and we have made our lives better and made our lives so much more meaningful through invention and innovation. So if all of us together has made all these advances over thousands of years, why can't we all reap the rewards? Because it seems like as some of us move into the future, some of us stay in the past. So if we can bridge this gap through charity, volunteer work, and any other form of things that you can do to make other people's lives better, we can have a greater world. I hope I inspired you on your wonderful journey to meet the odds for everyone, so that no one has to have a bad chance or a good chance. That everyone, no matter where you're born, what race you are, what gender, or what sexual orientation you are, you have the same chances to be successful as long as you put in the hard work, the dedication, and everything you need to be successful. I hope that you take what I said today and do something important with it, and good luck.